Grammy Award-winning Chicago rapper Lil Durk is facing new charges in a murder-for-hire plot. Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, is facing 2 additional felony charges, including conspiracy. He's accused of conspiring with others to murder a rival rapper in Los Angeles in 2022, but the shooters missed their intended target and killed someone else. 5 other people are also facing charges, 4 of whom are from the Chicago area.
OTF Dede. Hurry up, every dread, cut it out. Take it home with you. OTF Dede.
OTF Dede would be arrested for this murder. It was November 3rd, 2012. At around 4 a.m., Travis Henry, aka Travis from the Shields set, was in the 5600 block of South Shields Avenue in Englewood when allegedly OTF Dede walked up on him and shot him multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the scene, but
Imagine being publicly humiliated in one of the most brutal ways possible, only to come back and become one of the most feared figures tied to a major rap empire. Now imagine that same person being accused of helping organize a deadly shooting connected to one of the biggest names in hip-hop. Sounds unreal, right? But that's exactly the story surrounding OTF Dede. So let me ask you this from the start. Can someone really come back from total embarrassment and turn it into power? Or does that kind of moment change you forever? Most people know Lil Durk as the face of Only the Family, the artist who built his name off pain, loyalty, and the realities of Chicago's streets. But behind every major figure like Durk, there are always people operating in the background. People who aren't making the music, but who play a role in the movement itself. One of the most talked about names connected to that inner circle is OTF Dede, born DeAndre Dontrell Wilson. He wasn't known for hits or chart success. He was known for his presence, his loyalty, and the reputation that followed him. But how does someone go from being publicly embarrassed online to being labeled one of the most dangerous men around Durk? To understand that, you have to go back to January 2020, a moment that could have ended everything for him. Dede was caught in a setup involving a teenage girl named Kamari Crawford, and what followed quickly spread across social media. The situation placed him at the center of attention in a way that in street culture is almost impossible to recover from. Reputation is everything, and moments like that don't just disappear. They stick with you. They define how people see you. So ask yourself this: how do you rebuild your name when the entire internet has already made up its mind about you? Less than a day later, the situation took a darker turn. Kamari Crawford was found shot and killed, and the timing immediately sparked speculation. While there were no official charges tying Dede directly to her death, the connection people made in their minds was enough to shift how he was viewed. The same person who had just been embarrassed was now being associated with something far more serious. Did that erase what happened before, or did it create a new kind of fear around his name? After that moment, Dede didn't disappear. If anything, his name became more solidified in conversations around OTF. Over time, he faced serious legal situations, including multiple murder charges, and was able to beat them. Surviving cases like that adds to a person's reputation, especially in environments where legal outcomes often shape how someone is viewed. It creates the image of someone who knows how to move carefully, someone who understands both the streets and the system. But that raises another question. Was it luck, or was he always calculated in how he moved? As Lil Durk continued rising in the music industry, Dede remained close to the inner circle. While Durk focused on building his career, Dede's name continued to come up in situations tied to street conflicts. One of the more public incidents involved a confrontation with FBG Cash at Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta.
Oh, what the hell? Damn!
Moments like that showed that whatever role Dede played, it wasn't passive. He wasn't just around, he was involved. And that leads to a bigger question. Was Dede acting on his own decisions, or was he part of something more structured behind the scenes? That question becomes even more important when looking at what happened in August 2022. Following the 2020 death of King Von, tensions remained high in the drill scene. Federal prosecutors later alleged that individuals connected to OTF were involved in a retaliatory shooting targeting Quando Rondo in Los Angeles. According to court documents, Dede was accused of playing a role in coordinating aspects of that incident, including travel and logistics tied to those involved. The shooting took place near the Beverly Center area. Multiple rounds were fired, and while Quando Rondo survived, an associate known as Lil Pab was killed. That moment shifted everything, because now the situation wasn't just street talk or online speculation. It became a federal matter, backed by investigations, timelines, and evidence being presented in court. And when things reach that level, you have to ask, can anyone really stay untouchable? In October 2024, federal authorities announced a major indictment connected to the case. Multiple individuals were charged, including Lil Durk and OTF Dede, with serious allegations tied to conspiracy and murder for hire. At that point, everything changed. The same loyalty that helped build OTF was now being tested under federal pressure, where the consequences are far more serious than anything faced before. Facing the possibility of life in prison forces decisions that most people never have to think about. Reports and speculation began circulating about potential cooperation, although nothing has been publicly confirmed as fact in court. Still, the idea alone was enough to spark debate. Could someone known for loyalty really turn when everything is on the line, or is loyalty only as strong as the consequences attached to it? Because if that line ever gets crossed, it wouldn't just affect one person. It could impact everything connected to OTF and its future. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. Was OTF Dede truly the loyal enforcer people believed him to be, someone who stood solid no matter what? Or was his story always leading to this moment where survival becomes the only thing that matters? The rise, the reputation, the allegations, and now the uncertainty. This isn't just a story about one person. It's a story about loyalty, consequences, and how far someone is willing to go when everything is on the line. So I'll leave you with this. If you were in that position facing life, what would you do?